and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra with me, Shail Bhatnagar, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Well, we are at the highest point of the day. If you look at the Nifty, 176 point higher. That's a 0.7% of an uptick that you can see. We are now comfortably above that 25,000 mark, 25,110 for the Nifty. This is buoyed by across the sectoral move that we are seeing: media, IT stocks, mid caps, infra, pharma, consumer durables. They're all up and about in trade. Most of the sectors, in fact, barring just financial services space, rest all of the sectors are up in trade today. It's also helped by the Nifty Bank, that's up by about 0.4% right now, 51,303 at the current level as far as the Nifty 50 is concerned. The top movers on the Nifty are Divi's Laboratories, LTI Mindtree, Bharti Airtel, Wipro, Adani Ports and HCL Technologies. A whole host of sectors that are throwing in some interesting names right now, but definitely we're above the 25,100 mark. Good afternoon, Shail.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at what has contributed to this Nifty's stunning 167 point rally. Remember, the index gained 80 points on a net basis on Monday. In fact, if you look at it from the intraday low of yesterday, which is 24,760, we've rallied almost 350 points in a span of 2 sessions. Now, as far as today is concerned, it is Infosys that's contributing 31 points. You have 24 points coming in on Bharti Airtel. TSCS is bringing in 20, L&T and Reliance 12 and 11 points each. At the same time, I'd just like to mark the Nifty IT index. It's the outperforming index for the day, 42,821, and this is up a whopping 900 points and a 900 point uptick as far as the Nifty IT index is concerned is equal to 2.1% as far as the percentage point is concerned. Needless to add, this is moving towards a record high, which was somewhere like 43,299. We had seen that on 2nd September. But look at how momentum is slowly but surely coming back into the market. As of now, 1,840 stocks are in the green, 527 in the red as far as the Lal Street is concerned. Sakshi and I tracked 19 indices for you, ladies and gentlemen. 18 are in the green. The only index which is showing a bit of loss is the Nifty Financial Services, and that's because of the how should I say, a bit of a problem coming with the GST Council. There was expectation and hope that GST would be reduced on health insurance premium, but that did not happen, and that's the reason why you see this kind of a move. Among the most active counters, we see non-cash stocks doing the rounds. Sakshi, look at this interesting part. Paytm is the top traded space. We've discussed this since morning. 2,155 crores. Jio Financials taking it away 3% higher, 1,842 crores. Zomato 1.75% higher, 267. My understanding is that we will see a record high fairly soon. And then you have the usual suspects in the form of HDFC, ICICI Bank, Reliance. In fact, the wind energy theme is doing very well. Tata Power is the 4th most active counter, 5.61. A fresh wave of green starts on Tata Power. So this is what is happening in the broader market. Lots of interesting things happening in the cash space, and the indices also enjoying this bounce.
Absolutely. Time to welcome our guest and on the show. Raghavendra Singh is now with us. He's a market expert. You often spot him on Bazaar Business Today Television, on daily calls and on Markets Today shows as well. Warm welcome to you, Raghavendra. Good to have you, and good to see this sea of green across the market today, and a sharp bounce back as well. How are you looking at this bounce? Will this be sustainable, or will we see profits being taken off at this high point again?
Sakshi, Shail, very good afternoon. As far as Nifty is concerned, we have already, spoken about this at the rate of 24,800. The Nifty has taken a strong support from there. It was 2100 exponential moving average. Actually, 25,100 is the very strong level, strong resistance we can see because there is the highest open interest in this series. I think that is the point, which I will definitely like to see if we are closing above 25,100 or not. If we manage to close above 25,100, then definitely we are again heading towards 25,300, maybe by this weekend, till the Friday or maybe on Monday, Tuesday. So I'm still hoping the Nifty should definitely make a new high. 24,800 is the immediate support, which I don't think Nifty is going to break in near term.
Okay, got it. Any key stocks, Raghavendra, that you are looking at?
Definitely, there are two sectors right now which are giving a good budge. I think the most important is Balakrishna Industries tire sector. So BKT has given a strong breakout above 3,000, now trading around 3,100. So I'm expecting this stock to touch 3,250 level, maybe within 2 days or 3 days. Apart from that, there is the IT stocks, LTTS persistent, which are giving a good breakout on the chart. I think LTTS can make a new 52 weeks high around 6,000 level because the stock is trading around 5,700 and the open interest is very good on the future. So I believe LTTS, persistent, and BKT, these three stocks can give a good return. Apart from that, I'm very much bullish in the consumer durables, Havels. सो मुझे लग रहा है हैवेल्स एक थोड़ा अच्छा स्टॉक है जो डेफिनेटली एक अच्छा ब्रेकआउट दिया है. सो आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग स्टॉक टू टच 2000 प्लस लेवल.
2.37, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in the last 40-50 minutes of trade for what is turning out to be an excellent Tuesday across the board. As Raghavendra points out, it's really difficult to say which is better and which is the best because there is so much of activity on the long side. Let's just look at Zomato. The counter is at 268. Substantial volumes, 1540 crores. What are the charts of Zomato telling you, Raghavendra ji? Do you see a fresh record high in the making, in the vicinity?
Zomato, definitely the stock has taken a U-turn from 240 to 43 levels and given a sharp bounce back from there. If we manage to close above 270, because 270 is the strong hurdle, Shailji, I think वो अगर उसके ऊपर बंद करेगा, then definitely it is going to touch 300 plus level. So 270 is the very strong resistance which the stock should need to cross above that.
Okay, 279, 280 actually. Is the all-time high that we had seen on 19th of August. For the moment, this rally is in its fourth day of making, and the price of 277 that you see will probably be a record close, if I am not wrong. Yes. So if it closes above, what's the price here? 262. Then we will have a record close on Zomato today. Let's see how that works out. What else is interesting and catches my attention? Yes, Tata Power. A very strong move coming in here, Raghavendra ji. What are the charts of Tata Power telling you? This is again close to an all-time high, which was 465. A fresh move on Tata Power. Your view?
Tata Power completely inverse head and shoulder breakout above 450, 420. And from there, the stock has already taken U-turn. 441 we are trading. The stock has a strong base around 435. If we manage to close above 435, then we are heading towards 460 plus level because the 52 size is 465, 467. I think that level should come, but there is a strong resistance around 460. So again, there is this scope of 15-20 rupees on the card. I think 460 is a very reasonable level where this stock can touch.
Okay, pharma stocks which are in the thickest of action, led by of course Divi's Laboratories, which is up 4% today. We also have a whole host of mid-cap names that are up and about: Advanced Enzyme, Laurus Labs, Piramal Pharma. There's been a strong buying across the board. You also have stocks like laboratories, other laboratory stocks, Shalby Hotels, hospitals, Morpin Labs, all of these stocks that are up and about today. Where exactly would you keep your focus, Raghavendra ji? Diagnostic space, hospital space, or the pure play pharma names? Where do you see focus?
There are two, three stocks in pharma sector where we are focusing right now. One is Aurobindo Pharma, the second one is Biocon, and the third one is Davis Lab. These three stocks are really doing good. And apart from that, Syngene. Syngene again is the stock. I think the stock has given a strong breakout on the chart. So all four stocks are looking good, and we are recommending to our clients to buy and hold these stocks.
Okay, let me just go to the broader markets to see where exactly is a lot of momentum getting generated as of now. There are some names which are actually making a strong comeback. Vraj Iron and Steel, 17% higher in trade. Prism Johnson, 16.6% higher in trade. Globus Spirits, that's up 14.4%. Epigral, that's up 11% in trade today. I'm just taking names from various sectors, but all those which are catching my attention within the broader markets. Then you also have Vakrangi, that's up almost 10% in trade. Som Distillers and Breweries, that's also up by about 10 odd percent. Moti Sons Jewelers, that's also buzzing in trade. There's a whole lot of action across the board in the broadest markets per se, especially in the liquor space. How are you looking at this liquor space as of now? Does it throw any interesting opportunities?
Sakshi, we are entering into the festival season, and we discussed day before yesterday about that Titan and all jewelry stocks. Today, I'm really focused on this liquor stocks because festive seasons are there. Next 3 months is going to be for this these stocks. So I think UBL is looking good on the chart. UBL we had already recommended our clients, so we are expecting this stock to touch 2150 level. So current market price is 207078. So I'm expecting this stock to just 2150. We are buying with the stop loss of 2020. So one can definitely buy UBL. Apart from that, there are few more stocks which are really looking good on the chart in the mid cap sector, which is Inox Wind Energy. Inox Wind Energy already given a strong breakout above 220 to 30. Now stock is trading around 240 to 45. The volume is good, and I think there is a fresh breakout on the chart. So Inox Energy, Inox Wind, I think the stock can touch around 255 to 60 level in the near term.
Okay.
243, ladies and gentlemen. Let's focus on some other stocks that are now changing color. Okay, I am talking about the chemical space. Two come to my mind immediately. One is Sumitomo Chemicals. This is 590, and this is 11% higher. If I am right, this is going to be an all-time high on Sumichem. 1 second, please. Yes, this is an all-time high. Would you be chasing this momentum from now on, Raghavendra ji?
But Shalji, the stock has already given breakout. The volume is good, but I think we should wait for one more days. 590
Yes.
is a decent level because 566 the stock was, earlier it was trading around that 560 was the resistance. Now stock has given breakout above that, but the stock is in overbought zone. We should wait for some time, 1 or 2 days. If stock is cooling off around 560, 550, then definitely we can enter.
Okay, please keep an eye out on these breakouts that I am pointing out. These are very, very good quality companies where now you see a lot of move coming in, and we've had a very strong monsoon all across the country. Of course, Sumitomo Chemicals is a company that makes agrochemicals which are used as pesticides and fertilizers. So please keep Sumitomo Chemical on the radar. And another company which I have marked since morning is Ether Industries. This is at 1044. I distinctly remember marking it at about 955, 995, 1002. This has also moved up during the day and is now doing fantastically well. Ether Industries, your view here, Raghavendra ji?
The stock has given a strong breakout above 960 because it has given a breakout of rounding bottom pattern. Now we can see stock has a strong resistance around 1080. If the stock is breaking above that level, then definitely we can see some other higher level. But I'm not expecting much higher level because there is a strong resistance around 1080 strategy. So I'll definitely wait for another 2 days to get into these stocks. So better है एक बार wait करते हैं, then again we can enter.
Okay, got it. Let's again look at some of the other interesting pockets. Mid-cap space is clearly buzzing today, 1.2% higher. Within the mid-caps, of course, Coforge is leading the gains today from the IT pack. It's 5.2% higher at 6827 today. Suzlon Energy is another 5% up at 78.05. It's at a circuit. SJVN is also up by 4.5%. Paytm is up by 4.5%. We touched the stock in the morning. Indian Hotels is up by 4.2%. L&T Finance, Balkrishna Industries, Jubilant Foodworks, Sona BLW, Infosys, a whole host of mixture right there. So let me just segregate. One is the mid-cap IT names that are buzzing here. Then you also have the wind energy names, Suzlon, SJVN, the renewable energy names that are buzzing in trade, and the rest of them are also hospitality space that's been buzzing in trade as well, apart from healthcare names. Wind energy names for you, Raghavendra ji. We have discussed many a times before on our shows as well, stocks like SJVN, stocks like Suzlon, stock like Inox Wind as well. Tata Power has been discussed too. How are you looking at this fresh momentum being built in the renewable energy space, and where would you concentrate your focus?
Definitely, Suzlon is the stock where we are focusing from past 6 to 8 months. Now the stock has given, uptrend again. If we break above 80, 82, then definitely stock will enter into the another, up zone. I'm expecting stock to touch 100 rupees. Apart from that, Sakshi, I think SJVN is, it is the stock which we have recommended so many times with you on the channel. I'm expecting again this stock to touch on the higher level. So SJVN, Suzlon is looking good. Apart from that, we just now discussed Inox Wind. Inox Wind is also looking good because the stock has given fresh breakout on the chart. So I'm expecting Inox Wind to touch 270, 280 level. So overall, entire sector is looking very promising, and again the uptrend can again resume on the higher side. So I'm expecting uptrend in this entire sector.
Okay. Let's also focus on the Adani group of stocks. Some of them have actually come off the low points as well. Adani Enterprises is at near the day's high. Adani Ports is also near the day's high as well. After a long call, these stocks are now again showing momentum. Anything that looks promising within the Adani group pack?
Sakshi, I'm not very much comfortable with the group, but there is the Adani Power stock which I'm really, following from past few weeks. So stock is giving a good breakout with the, with the good volume. So Adani Power is looking good, but Adani Enterprises, Adani Port, I'm not very much comfortable these two stocks.
Okay.
250. We have now 40 minutes left for trade. The Nifty is comfortably above 25,000. Let's hope the close today is capturing this very important level as far as options are concerned. Remember, tomorrow will be the weekly expiry of the Bank Nifty, which has done dramatically well. And of course, we'll also have Nifty at T-1 because it expires on Thursday. Let's just take a detour into volume buzzers. These are stocks where you've seen a very, very sharp move. For those who join us regularly, will remember I had marked Prism Johnson somewhere between 165 and 170 because the rally had been fantastic. I believe Prism Johnson was now at a 20-25% uptick over the last 3-4 sessions. There is some development in the offing, only time will tell. This is a mid-cap cement player where a lot of transactions have happened in the last 6 months. Raghavendra ji, charts of Prism Johnson, what are they telling you? 16% higher, 203.
अब 189 190 स्टॉक बहुत अच्छा है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, बिकॉज ये सिमेट्रिकल एंगल का ब्रेकआउट है, अगेन वॉल्यूम इज गुड, आरएसआई स्टॉक इज कंफर्टेबल. आई थिंक स्टॉक है पोटेंशियल टू टच 220 225 लेवल. शैल जी, डेफिनेटली दिस स्टॉक कैन गो अप because it is the breakout of inverse head and shoulder also. So I think the stock has potential to touch 220 225.
Okay, now this is the level that we had last seen in February of 2024. This is a breakout that now we are tracking fairly regularly. Please keep this stock in mind, and I think there is some news in the offing which just might hit us over the next 1 week or so. I'll tell you why. Look at the move that has come in from 3rd of September when the stock was at 166. So 166 to 203 in the span of a moment. And what has moved again? Ether Industries. I marked it in the morning at 995, 1002. Just 5 minutes ago at 1045. The counter is now at 1062, 1066, almost 10% higher. Let us see what's the circuit on Ether. This is not to say that this is going to hit the circuit, but there is no harm in knowing where the circuit is on this one. I'll just let you know. Sakshi, would you please take over?
Sure, absolutely. Let's also discuss Hero MotoCorp in that respect, because Ather Energy has also filed its IPO papers, so that's also in the buzz. How would you look at Hero MotoCorp right now, Raghavendra ji?
Stock has a strong base around 5660 and stock taken U-turn from there. I'm expecting stock to just 5660 once. Then again, it can take a U-turn. So I'm expecting stock to touch 5720. One can definitely buy stock at this level and then keep a stop loss of 5650. And apart from that, there is the highest open interest around 5720. So again, I'm expecting stock to touch on that level. So definitely, one can definitely buy this stock.
Okay, got it. So one can definitely look at buying this stock. One more stock I'll bring up for you, and that is Geo Financial Services. The stock has further gained momentum today, 3.3% higher in trade. We have discussed this stock even now, even before Raghavendra ji. But at 352, can one still take a pick on Geo Financial for a long-term view?
Absolutely, definitely. One can definitely enter in this stock at this level. 250 or 352 is the very attractive level. So again, one can buy with the stop loss of 340, and the target should be around 375, 390 level. And once the stock is breaking above 390, then we can enter for 450, 500 level. Definitely, one can buy here.
Okay, definitely one can look at buying in this space as well. Apart from Geo Financial, there are a whole host of other stocks also that are buzzing in the NBFC space. And that is Reliance Home Finance, Geo Finance, we've discussed L&T Finance, Indostar Capital, Poonawalla FinCorp, Repco Home Finance. The entire space seems to be a buzz with all that excitement. Okay, so Ather Industries, as Shell was pointing out, the circuit is 1071. Let's again bring up that stock back on the screen, and seems like it's about to hit that circuit as well. 8% higher in trade. So you're looking at a very strong move on Ather Industries right now, and the circuit is 1071. So it's just about 21 rupees higher from the current levels as well. So keep an eye out on this one too. Okay, apart from this, the power space, a lot of these power names are coming back, Raghavendra ji. Some things which we have discussed in the past: Power Grid, NTPC, Coal India, Power Finance, REC. They're all hitting highs of the day in trade today. How would you look at the opportunities here? We've already discussed Adani Power and Tata Power. How about the traditional coal producers?
Coal India is looking good above 475, 480. The stock is hovering around 500, I think 490 level. Once the stock break and close above 500, then again stock will enter into another zone from 500 to 550. But definitely one can buy this stock. I'm not very much comfortable with REC and PFC because stock has already given a decent rally in from past 15 days. So I'm expecting some profit booking in REC and PFC. Apart from Coal India, NTPC is looking good. NTPC again, I'm expecting stock to touch on the higher side. I'm expecting some good buying level in the NTPC around 370, 390. The stock can touch 420, 445 level.
Fair point. Sakshi, I think it's a day that belongs to the entire chemical fraternity. We've marked Ether, we've marked Sumitomo Chemicals. Look at Himadri specialty chemicals, 6% higher, 563. You have a strong move coming into UPL. This is 2.2% higher at 620. Apart from that, you have a strong move on something that you've been pointing out since morning, which is the pharma space. Look at how strong Divi's Labs is. Fresh record high, 4% higher. Can't remember the last time this low beta counter surged so much. All the more reason to check it out. 5400 on this one, Raghavendra ji. Divi's Lab, high ticket, but what can we do?
Definitely, Salji. I think we have discussed so many times this is stock around 3800, 4000 level with Sakshi ji. I believe the stock have potential to touch 6000 level. Again, stock has given strong breakouts with the good volume and the highest open interest on the derivative data. So I'm expecting 5600, 5700 on the card. Maybe by this Friday we can see these levels again. So one can definitely buy. Keep a small stop loss of 5200, 5100, and keep adding this stock. So again, the stock is in uptrend, and I think 6000 level is on the card within a month or two.
Wow, wonderful. And as we've been pointing out for quite a while, Sakshi, Nifty Pharma is the place to be. Granules 4% higher, almost 693. Ipca Labs 3% higher, 1445. There's no stopping Mankind Pharma, 2448, 1.5% higher. Let's look at the volume busters on this one. I had marked Laurus yesterday. Today the volumes are substantially higher than yesterday, 3% higher, and about 87 lakh shares have been traded, 3 times the 5-day average. Let's look at gainers such as Divi's we've discussed, Mankind Pharma. We're pretty much done on this one. Just marking all-time highs, which is Alchem Labs. Again, anti-cancer drug play where GST has been reduced dramatically from, I think, 12% to 5%. Alchem Labs for you, Raghavendra ji, what are the charts saying?
Alchem Lab definitely trading in the overbought zone, RSI 72, 74, so little bit uncomfortable, but definitely stock has potential to touch 64, 20, 64, 50, but it is, it is not very much comfortable, on the buying side. So I'll definitely avoid this stock.
Okay, got it. Raghavendra, we'll thank you on that note, and thanks a lot for always sharing such wonderful insights and tips and strategies for all our viewers. We always are happy to have you with us, and wish you come back very soon to discuss more trading ideas and investing ideas for all our viewers. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we'll now welcome another guest viewers on the show. We have with us now Mr. Avinash Gorakshakar, Head of Research at Profit Mart Securities, joining in. Warm welcome to you, Avinash ji, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Well, this is the time, when we really need those insights from you who've been tracking the markets for far too long than all of us have. To tell us, when it comes to the fear that is lurking across the globe, recession fears, rate cut fears, and what could that do to the overall, global market scenario? We've been seeing these bouts of sell-offs, and every time investors are, anticipating some huge correction that could be underway, and fearing that, is this the right time to at least book out all the profits and keep cash in hand? How are you assessing this situation, and what would you say? Should one be looking at selling or booking profits in these surges that we are seeing in the markets?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sakshi. I think markets are definitely witnessing very strong momentum, largely because a lot of liquidity has started entering the markets. We have been hearing the SIP flows, domestic, institutions, insurance companies. So I think markets are unlikely to fall significantly. In fact, I would not be surprised that you may not be able to find a big panic kind of setup. But yes, broadly, one has to go beyond the index. As I have been always telling you on this channel that looking at the index does not make any sense. You have to look at the broader market. I think broader markets are going to do extremely well. In fact, I remember sometime back on your channel we had recommended Deep Industries. This company has got a 1400 crore order, which is more than its entire order book, and the stock has skyrocketed. So it's a matter of
Okay, I guess we've lost Avinash, on the show right now. There's some connection issue, but we'll get back to him pretty soon. Just getting you the market updates right now, viewers. 86 points higher. We are still holding above that 25,000 mark, but we've quickly sold off from the highest point of the day as well. Remember, we were trading at 25,150 thereabouts, and now we've suddenly slipped about 50-70 points. Now, what are the weaknesses that we are seeing? We're seeing, apart from the financial services that would 0.5% lower in trade, oil and gas and the PSU banks have also quickly slipped into the red right now. What's still holding up strong? Media stocks, IT, mid and the small caps, pharma, consumer durables and the realty spaces. These are the 5 pockets that are still holding up and about right now. Within the PSU pack also, if you see the PSE index, that's also slipped from its high point of the day. It's now just about 0.2% higher in trade. Power producers are still up and about. Stocks like HCL, BEL from the defense pack are also still holding up into the green. BHEL is also up and about. LIC from the insurance space is also holding up, but large part of the stocks have also slipped into the red right now. Let's also look at the Nifty next 50 names. Apart from Tata Power that we have discussed, we have Geo Financial Services we've discussed. Zomato is also up in about 1.6%. You have JSPL, Bosch, IRFC, Info Edge, Samvardhan Motherson. These are the newer stocks that are joining the party as far as the broader markets are concerned as of now. Within the broadest index, is there anything else that is interesting? It's the similar kind of names that we have marked for all our viewers right now. Okay, I think Coal India, there is some news coming in, and they're highlighting about India's daily output, which is currently at 1.7 million tons. They're also highlighting that they are looking to up the daily output to 1.9 million tons in September. Coal India will be raising the production despite the muted demand. They also believe that sales may improve in the September to March period compared to April to August period as well. And they also see the stocks of 65 to 75 million tons as the new normal for Coal India. Those are the some reports coming in as far as Coal India is concerned on the wires right now. Share.
3:03 p.m. and we have Mr. Gorakh Shakar with us. Namaste, Avinash ji. What a pleasure to host you, sir. Okay, he's just about to join. Again, Sakshi, 2 stocks. Look at Swan Energy. I just marked it at 202. Now at, my apologies, Prism Johnson. I had just marked it at 202. Now at 207.70. This is the lone stock in the cement space that is showing signs of activity. I think in less than a minute now it will hit the circuit. We are already at 1905, 1906, 34 rupees or higher. So definitely there's some news in the offing, and we'll just see what that is, because this is the lone gainer which is in the cement space acting with such enthusiasm and move. 39 lakh shares or more, no, 3 crore 93 lakh shares have been traded, and that's somewhere like how should I say, what's the volume burst that's coming on this one? Okay, this is about uh, 15 times the 5-day average. So that's there, and of course Coal India, Sakshi's just pointed out, has moved. I believe there is a digit change in Tata Communication. Am I mistaken? This is 2013 today. Let's see what the daily picture is. No, the all-time high is still 5 away. That's how it is. Avinash, a very warm welcome. Good afternoon. Good to have you here. Anything that catches your fancy apart from Deep Industries, that of course has done wonders?
So in fact, Shell, broadly, we like companies from the NBFC and the private bank space. I think this is now an ignored area. A lot of people are getting slightly pessimistic, but our sense is that India has to grow, and if India has to grow, then I think the capital will come from banks. So I think stocks like Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank, typically a smaller bank like even Federal Bank. I think banks are now going to be the clear kind of opportunities which investors should not ignore. The other category is the non-banking finance companies. A lot of good quality non-banking finance companies like Poonawalla Finance are available at attractive valuations. So I think when a sector is not doing well, or typically when there is lack of interest, Shell, our approach is to get into those sectors which are not in flavor. And I think over the next say 1 or 2 months, you would see that some interest would definitely come back in the banking sector. I think we are completely away from defense, or we are completely away from the railway stocks, because we feel that a lot of hype and frenzy has already been created in these category of stocks. So I think despite good news, valuations are not comforting. So I think private banks and the NBFC space, I think this is one category where I think valuations have come down. And I think these are very well managed banks with good asset quality levels and with good growth prospects over the next say 6 to 12 months. So I think I would bet my money here, even at the current valuations.
Okay. Well, Avinashi, another space that I wanted to draw your attention and ask you where exactly do you see the momentum continuing is the pharma space, clearly, which has had a stellar run thus far. Do you still feel there is a lot of steam left here? And between the three pockets, healthcare, hospitals space, diagnostic space, and the main OEM, the players as far as the medicine makers are concerned, where would you concentrate your focus right now?
I think clearly hospitals and the companies which are into generic kind of players, specifically which cater to the US market, with the passing of the Biosecure Act in the US. I think a lot of CDMO companies, a lot of CRAM companies are going to benefit. I think one of the questions earlier asked to a guest was on Divi's Labs. I think Divi's is definitely a very good opportunity. According to me, it's one of the largest player in the CRAM space. And after the China factor, I think it has come back in prominence in a big way, enjoys a very strong balance sheet. So I think, I would also believe that any dip or even at the current levels, Divi's definitely qualifies as a good portfolio bet. The other company is Sun Pharma, a large exposure to the US market. Plus, you could look at stocks like Lupin, you could look at stocks like Glenmark Life Sciences, which is also into CDMO. So I think, you're going to see a lot of action in these companies. And of course, not to forget Biocon. Biocon is also one of those companies which, apart from its subsidiary Syngene, will benefit quite significantly from the Biosecure Act. So I think it's a matter of time. Maybe you could see this getting reflected in numbers after the next, say, 2 to 3 quarters. But the narrative is definitely solid, and I think that's the reason pharma stocks, which I mentioned to you, are going to be in the bus.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the pharma space is concerned. The other defensive space, FMCG, what's your thought process there, sir? We've seen HUL climb to its record high level after not doing anything for the last 4 years. Are you really looking at this bounce that's coming in on stocks like HUL, on Dabur, on Marico, on Tata Consumer Products? Is this going to be sustainable? Should one shift at least or hedge some of the portfolio with some of these FMCG names right now?
I think within the FMCG space, we are positive on companies like Dabur, Marico, Godrej Consumer Products. And I think, to a large extent, rural demand, which was lying low for the last 2 years, has now picked up. This year, the monsoon has been much better than expectation. So I think you could see a very strong second half for these companies. But I think apart from Sakshi, the FMCG basket, I think one basket which benefits significantly from the rural market and the monsoon is the agrochemical sector. I think I would also be very positive on stocks like Sumitomo, Valleys, United Phosphorus, Sharda Cropchem. These are companies which, if you remember, last year were beaten down because of excessive inventory in the markets. Now the inventory destocking has already happened, and I think you could expect a very strong bumper performance for FY25 going forward. So I think with a good monsoon, agrochemical stocks should definitely be a part of your portfolio.
This is a space that we just marked, Avinash, before we welcomed you. And in the same segment, I'll request the PCR to fire a stock of Epigral. This is 20% higher and a very, very sharp breakout that has just happened. Again, in exactly the same space as our friend Avinash is suggesting. And here is a stock that is doing phenomenally well, market capitalization of about 8,200 crores, trailing 12 months revenue 2125 crores, 2,125 crores, and a very, very good profit making company where the promoter holds 71%. Avinash, would you want to comment on Epigral?
I think you're right, Shell. Epigral should definitely benefit because it operates not only on the agrochemical side but also has specialized plastic division where it makes CPVC polymers, which is a very import substitute product. And I think this was a company which actually got demerged from the Make Money group. So Make Money Organics was the original company, and then this company came into being. So I would say that yes, this company has a very bright future. And I think now the cycle has turned. As you said rightly, today chemical companies have done remarkably well. So this is also one company where possibly you could see a significant amount of re-rating happening. And I think in terms of caustic soda, in terms of chemicals, in terms of CPVC, I think fortunately prices have started moving upward. So this should benefit the company at least over the next, say, 2 to 3 quarters ahead.
Okay, so it's a tailwind that is coming in across the sector. Inventory destocking and perhaps coupled with rising prices of finished products because monsoon has been phenomenal is one of the driving forces. Before you came in, Avinash, we had discussed Tata Power technically, but here is a company where the green theme is now getting recognized by the market. It's a rare day in the F&O market today when Tata Power is actually the most traded, most active future with about 40,776 contracts traded. Would you hold a view on Tata Power against the backdrop of this very sharp rise in all wind energy stocks?
No, I think clearly power generation is still a very strong theme, Shale. And I think, Tata Power has categorically said that over the next 3 years, they want to increase their renewable and green energy basket in a very big way. In fact, they've already stated that solar energy as well as the electric vehicle charger opportunity is something which they are very keen on. And I think that is something the markets are very positive. Power generation, fortunately, supplies are not getting added that significantly, but demand is growing by about 6 to 8%. So I think, you could see good amount of earnings traction from companies like Tata Power. I think the only caveat is that these are companies, where the earnings growth trajectory takes a little long time to get reflected in numbers. But yes, fundamentally, this is a portfolio stock, Shell. So it's not a momentum or a trading stock. One has to take a view with at least say 12 to 15 months. And I think you can definitely think of making good money here.
Okay, got it. 15 minutes to go for the markets to shut shop. It's a 100 points uptick even now. So 25,042. We are holding up decent at this point in time as far as the markets go. What else is buzzing is the broader markets, the mid and the small caps. They are definitely up over 1% each. Avinash ji, do you think for the mid and the small caps, all that fear that was lurking about a few months ago of overheating, of a lot of froth, is that settled within the recent consolidation that has played out, or are we still at a risk of some burst from that high valuations?
No, I think, see, you have to be very selective here, Sakshi. I think, there are some companies where valuations have become expensive, and there are some companies which still categorize for some sort of re-rating. And I think, as I was mentioning to you earlier, see, the broader market outside the index is going to give you significant opportunities where the alpha is going to be made. So I think today you look at most of the HNIs, you look at the PMSs, you look at even AI funds, they have got dedicated funds to invest in small and mid cap companies. In fact, I wouldn't like to comment on the SME companies, but the amount of money flow which is happening here is quite significant. So I don't think you're going to have a bubble here, but yes, selectively there would be some valuation kind of sell off. But typically, in this market, I think it's a stock specific approach. So one has to do his homework very well on betting on a particular company.
Right. Since you took the name of SME IPOs, it's the hottest space. I think this is the biggest week in terms of IPOs that we've got thus far this year. I mean, 14 IPOs have opened this week, with 5 of them in the main board category and the rest of them in the SME category as well. Leave alone the SME space, but in the main board, are you looking at any newer IPOs that are coming in which may be of interest and where investors must not lose the opportunity but definitely put in their money and try their luck for allotment?
Yeah, I think Sakshi, two frontline IPOs. One is of course Bajaj Housing, which is like a portfolio kind of stock. I think you don't get companies from the Bajaj Group so easily. In fact, this is a IPO from the Bajaj Group after a very long time. So I think Bajaj Housing definitely categorizes as a very good long-term bet, provided you get allotment, because I think the number of times it's going to get oversubscribed could be a historic one. And most importantly, I think one could also look at buying it from the secondary market once the stock gets listed. But typically, the other company which is interesting is a company called Tallinn Rubber, which is based in Kerala. Now, this is a very interesting company. They are largely into tire trading. And on a top line of 227 crores, the company generated a PAT of 26 crores. So I think very strong margins. And I think very few comparable, companies in the market, except for LV Tires and Trades. There is no other large player in this market. So I think, this could be a good opportunity for somebody who's looking for at least the next 12 to 15 months. The listing gain is another issue, but if one were to stay invested here, I think one could definitely think of making a decent amount of money in both these items.
Sakshi, I think we'll have a blowout on Sumitomo Chemicals, Sumichem, 17% higher. We started marking this stock about 15-20 minutes ago, and this is risen from 570, 590 to all the way now to 622, 623. So already up 17-18%. This is going to possibly hit the circuit and maybe herald another day of gains tomorrow. So very, very sharp breakouts happening in the entire chemical space. Let me just see if I can highlight the NSE chemicals list, which will tell you. Okay, I have it right there in front of me. Just a moment, please. There's so much of. Just a moment. I'll highlight a little later, but we'll enjoy the bounce in Sumitomo Chemicals, and of course look at this sector from tomorrow onwards. Ether Industries, it just hit a circuit, bit of profit booking there. Jubilant Ingravia, 758, 8% higher, and of course how can we forget the 5% circuit Sakshi on Suzlon Energy today, 7805 and 4.99% higher. Apart from that, CESE is in good shape, almost 5% higher, 199, and a 4% uptick on Honasa Consumer Limited as well. Sakshi.
Okay, about 10 minutes to go for the markets to shut shop. Mr. Gorakshakar, there is another space that I wanted to draw your attention, and that is the RPSG group, or the Goenka group that we've been seeing a lot of interest in over the last few months. Today again, Firstsource Solutions is up 6%. Of course, a lot of it has to do with the entire IT sector move. CESE is back up again about 4.5%. PCBL has been in focus of late to several of these stocks. They have been in buzz. Have you seen this re-rating, in a way probably which promises to be an entry point for a future long-term outlook within this group, or where exactly would you keep your focus?
No, I think the RP Goenka group has obviously got in focus recently after the management made a very positive commentary on PCBL, which is their frontline company making carbon black, and which is the largest player in India. I think the most important point to note was the company expects that now the recently acquired water purification kind of business which they have acquired is going to get scaled up by 2 to 3 times over the next 3 years. So I think PCBL is definitely something one needs to keep a watch and on their radar. And obviously CSC, as I mentioned to you, see it's one of the companies which supplies power to Eastern India and which has been historically trading at very low price to book multiples. So I think if one were to bet on the power generation pocket, I think CSC is definitely a category stock where I think one could expect a decent amount of re-rating. And PCBL, one should look at some sort of market decline. Stock has moved up quite significantly, but yes, from a business standpoint of view, they are in a premier pole position as far as the carbon black market is concerned. And the water purification business is now going to start contributing, from the current year onwards. So I think buy on any dip, but both these stocks could categorize as good quality investments.
Okay, got it. Right, so we'll start looking at the pockets now which are contributing to the gains right now. IT space clearly 1.7% higher, media stocks that's up by 2.6% odd. Strong move being seen on the mid and the small caps, which we've highlighted as well for our viewers. Pharma and the realty pack. Let's get and also consumer durables. Let's get Avinash to talk about the consumer durables space too. Right ahead of the festive season, do you think this space will garner more interest going forward? Should one be looking at stocks within the white goods space or maybe the gems and the jewelry space?
I think the gems and jewelry space category, Sakshi, would evoke a little more interest because ground level reports suggest that gold jewelry demand is growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that gold prices have moved up, companies like Senco Gold, Kalyan Jewelers, or for that reason Titan, jewelry sales this year are going to see record growth. And I think the kind of margins these companies are making, typically from the B2C kind of opportunity, is extremely strong. So I would not be surprised that I think maybe this is this is a segment where I think investors should not ignore because profitability has jumped significantly, and most of these companies have been able to turn their inventories much faster. The more you move your inventory, I think it's more efficiently managed, as they say in the industry. So I think typically the inventory turns have been around 4 to 5 times. So that has actually also benefited these companies. So I think gold and jewelry is a basket where I think any dip in the market should be used as an opportunity to accumulate.
Okay.
322, ladies and gentlemen. Let's sort of now start the process of wrapping up. It's been another great day, and most certainly we'll have a close above 25,000. This is a very welcome development on the Nifty. This is against the backdrop of across the board rally in almost all sectors that we track, and this is accompanied by a very sharp burst in gainers. 1774 stocks in the green compared with 604, and it's the cash counters that have done fantastically well. Nifty mid cap select is up 1.4%. The mid cap and the small cap 100 indices are up 1.2, 1.1%. The Nifty 500 in itself has added 0.5%, and out of 501 stocks, 385 have been in the green. So the broader momentum is back. I really wish the PSUs would have shown signs of how should I say great strength, but some of them, such as NBCC 4% higher, IREDA 4.5% higher, Engineers India 3% higher, Midhani and National Aluminium 2% higher. These are erstwhile old-time favorites that we used to track under the heading of low ticket, high beta items. So they've done very well, and absolutely blowout on pharma stocks. And it's very, very difficult to find a phrase to describe this very, very strong rally that has come into the chemical space. So sectoral rotation happening, good money being made in those sectors that were undervalued and unappreciated till about a week ago. Sakshi.
Okay, got it. Okay, 324. Let's get Avinashi to talk about 2 or 3 sectors or themes that you believe, sir, that will now outperform within the entire festivities that we are going to see and in the second half of the calendar year and the fiscal year too. Where exactly should one be putting in fresh money?
So I think my sense is the second half is going to see a lot of activity for companies which are operating in the travel and tourism sector. I mean, you can also look at maybe the aviation companies because fortunately crude prices have also softened, and I think you're going to see a lot of traction happening here. So apart from Indigo, there are some specific aviation related stocks like Dreamfork Services, which operates launch services across the country. So I think this is also one interesting bet where investors could have a look. It's available at a decent valuation, and I think numbers have been also been pretty strong. Operates a very light asset light model, and most importantly, now it's entering even the railway segment where the opportunity to scale up is quite significant. And of course, within the infra space, Sakshi, we still continue to like cement. Cement is one sector which does well, post the monsoons. And I think we have got companies like Ultratech, Heidelberg Cement, Ramco Cement. I would not be surprised that you could see a lot of good pricing power now coming back in these companies, and volume growth is going to be now in strong double digits. And plus, the best part is raw material prices like pet coke, coal prices, they've come down significantly. So that is also going to add to the margin enhancement in the next, say, 2 to 3 quarters. So I think in the infra space, cement, hospitality, you could also look at companies like Indian Hotels, Lemon Tree, because I think starting October, you're going to see the festive season getting started.
And what about Prism Johnson? How would you look at this strong mover? Do you think there is still value that one can look at on this stock despite the strong move of 20% today?
Yeah, I think, Sakshi, this is also an interesting bet, but I think one needs to be a little careful here. When you have a 20% spike, I think it's always better to wait for a moderate correction because, typically retail investors usually get trapped at higher levels. So my suggestion is that, this stock could be an interesting bet provided we see a mild correction. And I think investors need to stay invested here at least for the next 6 to 12 months.
Okay, got it. So that's the view that's coming in. Well, thank you, Avinash, for being with us on that note and sharing such wonderful insights for all our viewers. Always a pleasure to host you with us on Business Today, sir. Okay, viewers, it's 3:27. Let's start wrapping up the trade. 119 points higher, 25,055. That's the kind of move that you're looking at on the Nifty. Definitely, it has to thank today the IT stocks for being the front runners and leading to this sharp bout of move above 25,000 for the Nifty. Within the pharma pack also, Divi's Laboratories needs to be marked 5% higher is where it ends. IT pack, of course, you have LTI, Mindtree, HCL Tech, Wipro, all three of them up and about. You have Bharti Airtel and NTPC 2 gaining ground within the top movers on the Nifty. On the losing side today, you had the life insurance names, both SBI and HDFC Life, Bajaj Twins, both Bajaj Finance and Finserv down, Shriram Finance also down in trade, Hero Moto was the other one that dragged in trade overall. Sectorally, like I said, media, IT, these were the top performers. Pharma, infra also. Broader markets over 1.2% gains for both of them definitely supported the market move. On the F&O space, you have Tata Power as the top mover, almost 7% higher right there. Coforge, Divi's Laboratories, Indian Hotels also as one of the top movers, and Tata Communications also moving over 4% higher within that F&O band, and in the cash space above 6.6% up move that could be seen right there. On the downside, however, again you have stocks like Vedanta that dragged 4.5%. ICICI Lombard also down by 3%. Canfin Homes declined in trade. HDFC Life and SBI Life also came under pressure today. Within the PSUs, however, with stocks like NTPC, Power Grid, Bharat Electronics, Coal India, NMDC, all of them gaining with sharp bouts of momentum in trade today, Shah.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's call it a day. It's a great pleasure to tell you that 25,000 is back with the bulls, and that is in style. Although the index did not close near its day's high, but I'm very, very happy that 25,000 is now back with the bulls on the Lal Street, and they are prancing with delight. Strong moves coming onto the chemicals space. Pharma continues to lead quality stocks higher. And of course, there is no stopping the kind of rallies that we are seeing in select cement stocks, a few PSUs, and across the board, it's the chemical space that has come out to be a big winner today. High double digit gains, 15, 20, 18% gains in mid cap counters such as Sumitomo Chemicals, Sudarshan Chemicals, Himadri Chemicals, Specialty Chemicals, and of course Epigral. News continues on the other side. Tomorrow is the weekly expiry of the Nifty bank, which ended 170 points higher at 51,280, and of course the IT index continues to throb with gains, 750 higher, 42,660. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to Business Today Television. There's lots more in the offing.
Okay, we'll wind it up at that. Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning into Business Today Television, and we'll continue to get you more news and updates from the world of business and stock markets, even beyond the stock market hours. Thanks a lot for tuning in for now. See you tomorrow morning with another edition of Market Today.
Smart investors such as you hunt for pain in a market or a segment that has corrected, and I believe PSUs have now come into a zone where buying levels are very attractive after maybe a 20, 25, 30, in some cases a 35% correction in prices across the board. Maybe one or two PSUs that catch your fancy. They may not have come down to juicy levels, which obviously long-term investors like you prefer, but a couple of names which our viewers and investors can keep an eye on and maybe start a sip and buy